Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, no matter where you are in the world. This is Howie, and I'm here to help you win with money. In this episode of 234 Method, the 2022 challenge, I haven't made a video on this in about 8 weeks, so I'm going to cover some of the details of what happened, and there may be some errors because I'm importing a lot of data. So let's get right to it. Before we go, if you're on Facebook, join me in Investing 102 Facebook group. This is where I post most of my trades. When I do the trades, I post it up, something like this. You'll see it. You get sort of near real-time information of what type of moves that I'm doing. So let's get straight to the options trading data for the last 8 weeks. So normally what I do is I go to my E-Trade account, go to transactions, and I import the data. It is midnight at the next day, and it looks like some of this has been finalized, but I will not bring in this week's data yet. Like I said, I haven't created a video in 8 weeks, so I'm going to import a lot of data into my pivot table. And I have already did it, and I only have data up until 6/17, which is last week, and I need to bring in this week's data. Most of this data is coming from E-Trade. What I do is I use some formulas, and then I add some fields so I can do some pivots. I have formulas on the tickers, and then these are all from E-Trade. I add this note myself, and I track all the trades myself. So let's go straight to the pivot, and I'm sure there's going to be some errors, but I'll show you what I mean. I haven't done this in about 8 weeks, and I'll show you what I mean here. You see that? Week 16 was the last week. So let's hit refresh, and then a couple things I need to fix. You gotta bring in 2 more weeks, and there you go, or 2 more months. And let me make sure this is right. And so far I think everything looks okay. I numbered the weeks, everything is matching. I'm gonna go to the monthly data here and do a refresh. Now what's not working is I gotta add the month back in here. Remember, this is kind of an old, and this is what it looked like after I added it back in. Now there's a couple things I want to check to make sure this is all right, so I have to pause the video a little bit and double check some of the data. Okay, I just added and double check these numbers from week 16 to 24. I had one losing week, and you can see my volume has been dropping off. I haven't done as much trades since I stopped producing videos, and then there was a week where I needed to do a lot of trades, and that's because don't forget the market's been downtrending, so I've been really trying to prevent losses. And you see I've been actually doing really well. My average profit per trade is moving up. I'm up to $18 per trade. Now I do want to bring in week number 25 because I think the data is already there. So I would like to do that first. I added the new transactions. We brought in the new data. Hit refresh. There you go. This one looks correct now. Yep, the numbers match. This one matches with this one here. Based on week number 25 data, this looks like it's correct. The numbers reconcile. So I had a good last 6 weeks in a row. Everything looks good. The data over here looks good when I hit the refresh. So the first thing I want to talk about is let's take a look at the SPY 234 method. And using my spreadsheet here, if you put a filter, you should see it. So by checking the 234, the first thing you're going to notice is if I did something like this, this is 234. You can see the profit is $2,900 so far this year, and if you divide it up by the 9,000, I have it ROI of 32% so far, and this is only halfway through the year. So my iron condors using the 234 has done really well so far, and that's what's it's showing you that it's working even if the market is downtrending. So I'm not going to talk through every trade, but you can see it over here. I keep track of it, and then you see, I just do the same trade over and over and over. I roll the untested side. But let's look at some other trades that I did in the last 8-9 weeks. I put on a filter on AMD, and let's take a quick look at AMD. So this week in AMD, if you look at the colors, the light blue color, I made $29 just in AMD. There's only 2 cover calls that I have, and if you look at last week, I made even less. I made $20 that week, and then previous week, $47, and then this one was $20. Yep, and then this one, week 21 is, yeah. So this one I made $1. So you can see with AMD, I've been doing the same concept, just rolling them up and down. Next one is I put a filter on Bank Ozark, and what you're going to notice is this one is not very exciting. I made $45 in the first 6 months. Basically means 6 months I made 1% using options on this one. And the reason is these don't have weeklies, and this particular bank stock is really boring, so you're not going to make a lot of premium. I would actually make more premium on something like Bank of America or Chase, because the stock have a lot more choices. These I think go up by their monthlies, and you have to roll them up by $5 at a time. So again, I own this for long term, but I wanted to show you that the options on this particular underlying does not make me a lot of money. And to show you a contrast, if you put a filter on APPN, this is my no code software, and if you just take a quick look over here, you see this one I definitely collect a lot more premium, even though it's the same, it's a cover call, and this one has a much higher percentage return. Put a filter on Teledocs, so you can see what happened. Teledocs expired. This week I collected $52, which is a lot. $52 is about 1%, because this share is trading under 35, and you can tell by what my strike prices are. Now, if you scroll back up previous week, you see that $24 the previous week. This one is $27, and then on week number 21, I collected $27. So you see, this one averages a pretty decent amount. So if you look at the last 5 weeks, it's $164. But when you divide that $164 by the average price over the last 5 weeks, and you get about a 4.6% return in 5 weeks. Let's take a look at another example. I put a filter on Skechers, SKX. This week I made $12, and then if you look at last week, $21. The week before that, I made $4. The week before that, I made $22. Again, not very sexy, but if you see the pattern over the last 5 weeks, I made a whopping $88. Again, this is how cover calls can make you money. While the underlying goes up, flat, or down, you collecting premiums, and over time what you do is you can buy more shares. This enhances a dividend stock payment. So if a dividend stock pays 1 or 2% yield, you can see how using cover calls can also generate an extra premium, and that's what these are. In the end, I'm quite happy with what's happening. You can see that in Q1, I had a slow start of the year. Q2, even though the markets were downtrending, you can see that I pulled out a $8,000 quarter in Q2. Next week is the end of Q2, So it looked like I'm going to end Q2 pretty good, and then on to the third quarter. And if I keep up this pace, I would expect me to finish somewhere around $18,000 or $19,000 for the end of the year. But let's see what happens. If the market stays range bound, it would actually be easier for me to make money. What I worry about is if the market is very directional in a single direction, it will become harder because some of my bets will then fail, and it will force me to lose 2, 3, or 4x of my actual bet, or the trade that the premium that collected from the options trade. But let's see how it plays out. In any case, I hope you guys enjoyed this. This is a great summary of just the last couple of weeks. And again, I haven't done a video from week 16 all the way to about 25, so this one will cover it all. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. I know I don't make a lot of these videos. I used to make them every week, but not a lot of people are watching them, so it didn't really make sense for me to spend a lot of time tracking every detail of every trade. Again, I do over 1,000 trades a year, and it didn't make sense for me to make videos if only 5 people are watching it. So I took a break. I still traded. I posted my trades on Facebook. You can see that in the Investment 102 Facebook group. So you can still see my trades in near real time. Again, I have full transparency. I don't just post videos after I made money 5 weeks, 6 weeks later. I actually post my trades as I do them. Whether I make money or not, no one knows until the event happens. But if you follow it closely, you'll notice that a lot of times I adjust my trades. I either roll up or roll down. I adjust the strike price. I shorten it, or I roll it out further. So I'm constantly rolling it. And that's how I adjust for what's happening in the market. But thank you again. Hey guys, let's help YouTube algorithm help others find this video. Share it with friends. Share it with people you think may benefit from watching these type of videos so that they can learn how to make money options trading. With that being said, thanks again. As always, let's do this together. Let's do this $1 at a time and have a profitable day. Bye-bye.